I'm a cheeseburger nut. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a cheeseburger nut.
I thought you were a fried chicken nut.
No, that's a fried
I thought you were a fried catfish nut.
Okay, all right. God damn it. Do you want to keep calling out all of my vices?
No.
Also like burritos too, not gonna lie. No rice though.
Today, we are doing double cheeseburgers. This is for the real ones. For the real ones.
Burgers are very important to the imprint of America. I mean, really, when you think about the origin of burgers, I mean, it was like, you know, you had ground meat and you had whatever condiments you had available between two pieces of bread. And it was, you know, from what I understand, one of the charms of burgers initially was that it was a to-go item, that you could eat it on foot.
Probably one of my main memories is these kind of divey places. For example, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, when I grew up, we had Williams, which was by the Smith & Rhodes Airport, and they were in a train car, and it was like a flat top, a greasy flat top. You looked at the back of the stainless steel wall, and it's like grease dripping down. But the burgers were, and I remember the burgers being wrapped in like wax paper.
Yeah.
And you can open the wax paper and you take your ketchup and your mustard, and you can do your little sauce and your dip, and then you can throw your fries on the wax paper, and you could go outside. That they had these stumps you could sit around.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just like, I think burgers kind of remind me of like summertime or being outside, and just, I don't know, just there's a lot of fun memories of burgers.
I remember my first cheeseburger. And when I think about cheeseburgers, it always reminds me of my dad, because my dad liked burgers. I think that's where I got it from, because I got a lot of memories of going through drive-thrus with him, especially when it was us two going on fishing trips and stuff. You know, it was always just like a burger stop somewhere. Especially when we go on road trips and stuff with the Boy Scouts, you know, being the Boy Scouts, there was always some greasy spoon diner that like always had the sign that said like best burgers in town.
Yeah.
And I would be like, we would drive by and I would just be looking through the window like, I want to try it, you know?
Let's do this! You don't like a burger that, especially if you're doing a double patty burger, you don't want a burger that's too big. And I'll show in Seth where I kind of do this little indentation where it's thinner in the center and fatter on the edges.
Little in the middle, but you got much edge.
Is that a song?
My dad was the king of like, hey dad, can we get some cheese on the Whopper? No. He's like, that's an extra 69 cents. We got cheese at home. I'm like, what? And I'm no lie. We would go home, he'd pull out Kraft single slices, and then he would microwave them. And then they get this microwave Whopper with wilted lettuce. And I'm just like, never mind. I'll just make some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm more of a relish person in my sauce. I don't like whole cut pickles. I don't like whole cut tomatoes either. It really takes away from the action for me. So we just got some dills that we pickled ourselves. And then we also have some bread and butter chips. What we do with those bread and butter, you know, we just chopped them up and diced them up nicely. And we got some nicely finely diced onions. We got some mayo, mustard, and just some ketchup. I would be surprised if this is anything new to anybody, but it's definitely important to go over when we're making our sauces. This is standard. I think this is a standard way to make, right?
Yeah.
You know, it just put onions in, put the pickles in, leave a little leftover to make sure the texture's right. Ketchup. I usually eyeball the ketchup because I kind of like a light red kind of pink salmon color as opposed to like too much ketchup. And actually, to be honest, I don't even do a lot of mustard.
Once you start cooking, time contracts, and it's like you got to get everything. And once it happens, once the action happens, you're on time. There's a time clock, and so you got to get the proper sear on the burger. Once the proper sear's on there, you got to flip it. You got to get the cheese on, and it's like it's happening. So this is what I like to do. I like to butter the bun, get it in the pan, and it kind of creates that steam effect.
Is a tasty burger.
Legit.